Hi and welcome to another RGL CFMA training episode. This is number 13 and we're looking at unrealistic passes, 50-50 passes in general. Starting off with unrealistic passes. So this is more about when people either do just the craziest things, which again we're unlikely to see provided everybody's got the right frame of mind. But also it's when people try and make passes that just are totally not there, trying to pass two cars going into a corner when there's nothing wrong with their current racing line, things like that. So trying to force yourself into a situation you just should not be in. So in this one here we see the white car go off the track, and then obviously this one's going for the extreme of unrealistic passes. That's forced car 9 off the track and has lost about 4 places. So we'll just have a look at this in just a little bit more detail now. And this isn't the first time it's happened, it's the first time in this series. But basically what this person should have done is kept either on the grass or merged back to the right slightly. There's plenty of space behind to merge in, so really should have just slowed right down and ducked in behind the black and red car in front and sort of followed car 1 around the corner, giving car 1 enough room to maintain a racing line through the corner, and or backed off as you can see there and just stay behind them. So but we have seen more traditional attempts where people haven't cut across grass areas but still tried to pass 2 cars going into a corner such as that one, and was never going to be able to pull it off. So trying to avoid unrealistic passing. Now 50-50 passing, this one's a little bit harder. Basically a lot of the time the 50-50 passes, you know, are very tempting, they're there, and it's quite likely that drivers can pull it off. But being 50-50, there's always a good chance that it's not going to happen and somebody's going to suffer from it. And what we like to see is more patient driving, and with this example here it's a really good example. So as you can see at the point of contact they're side by side. The other point is both of them were never going to fit through that area, and this person's just dropped a crap load of spots due to some light contact that could have been avoided. Again, just sort of aiming for patience. Not saying that the person in the grey car did the wrong thing, they saw an opening and wanted to go for it. We're trying to get drivers to weigh up what is a definite pass and what isn't at the time, and sort of say to yourself, okay, this may or may not work, so therefore I'm going to wait for a proper opportunity or a better opportunity to make a pass. Sections of track like this aren't really the best, and there's quite a lot of sections on many of the tracks that we race that just aren't suited for passing. Unless the person's lost total control and have fallen behind or whatever, then it might be different. But again, you've got to try and weigh up what the opposition driver's doing as well. In this instance here, the white car had lost traction, but was always going to sort of straighten up, and we'll show some angles of what they would see from their bonnet view, assuming that most drivers race from bonnet view. So again, as you can see, it's side by side at the point of contact, so you could fairly say that the grey car was far enough up on the inside of the car to make a move. But again, you know, it was always going to be a tight squeeze and always a high chance of contact, and as you can see what the end result was there. So we're trying to avoid making those passes, just trying, and here you go, so lost traction, straightened up as the track has sort of come back towards the car, and then there's the contact there. And so this person in the white car wouldn't have even known that the grey car was going to come up on the side. Even with some communication between the drivers, it would still be fairly risky. And there you go. So that's just a look at a couple of different angles in the same incident. So please, when driving, weigh it up. Generally try to make passes when you're going into heavy braking corners where you've got a good exit speed and run on the other drivers. Try and avoid passes on shallow corners if you can. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.